6:55. Good morning, Malta and Gozo. This is Bonġu News on Saturday morning. You never had a cat loving daily.
The Financial Action Task Force has congratulated Malta for being removed from its grey list after significant progress. The result of the secret vote earlier this week was officially announced on Friday at the end of the FATF's June plenary. FATF President Markus Plyer said the island had doubled the resources of its business registry and conducted a thorough risk assessment. He hailed Malta's progress, adding that this doesn't mean there isn't more work to do. In his reaction on Friday evening, Prime Minister Robert Abela said Malta should never get back on such list. Abela said this was yet another confirmation for the commitment of the government to modernize the country, of good governance, and that the institutions work. The European Commission has recommended granting Ukraine candidate status for EU membership. Ukraine must continue to implement reforms and respect international law, the EC said on Friday.
And we all know that Ukrainians are ready to die for the European perspective. We want them to live with us the European dream.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that this is the first step to EU membership that will bring the country's victory closer. Now the 27 EU member states have to give the green light, with their leaders set to discuss Ukraine's candidate status at the summit next week. The same recommendation has been given to Moldova, but not to Georgia, which is another ex-Soviet republic. Annual inflation in May reached 5.8%, up from 5.4% in April, according to the Harmonized Index of Consumer Prices published on Friday. Prices of food and non-alcoholic beverages have increased by 10.4% when compared to May 2021. The index released by the National Statistics Office also shows a significant increase for housing. The prices of banner dairy products, including yogurt, jbejnit and ricotta, are set to increase next week, except for fresh milk. Malta Dairy Products said the ongoing war has led to another sharp rise in prices beyond the company's control.
Former Book Council Chairman Mark Camilleri has filed a constitutional application saying his book was not reviewed for political reasons. I talked to the author of the bestseller A Rent Seeker's Paradise at a book signing yesterday in Valletta.
Mark Camilleri asked the National Book Council to have a review of his book A Rent Seeker's Paradise published. The council has a weekly section in the newspaper Illum reserved for that purpose. However, Camilleri's request has been turned down, reason enough for the author to file a constitutional complaint against the government.
Since the National Book Council is by law obliged to look out for my interests as one of its major stakeholders, I expect the National Book Council not to censor explicitly my interviews, but on the contrary, to support me as any other stakeholder, part of the Book Council.
The former Labour Party member and delegate has written about alleged nepotism, corruption and bad governance within the Labour government. Speaking of bad governance, what are the most pressing issues in Malta that the government should urgently address?
Many things that I would like to see. First of all, we need to really address the energy situation in terms of the existing contracts, the existing corruption that there was, and seek to build a new vision for our energy sector, especially since it can also cripple our economy nowadays with all the subsidies that we are paying for our oil and gas. It's a very bad situation, which was also brought partly due past corrupt practices, which until today are not being addressed. There is the issue of justice as a whole, and to see that the police executes and makes justice, and also is perceived to be doing justice, which is also very important. And then there are structural economic issues which are also very important, like the property, the housing problem, cost of living. So yes, there's a lot of things which I would like to see done, and which I would believe in them firmly.
And you can follow Mark's updates on his blog markcamilleri.org. Now our daily look at the weather. Today, partly cloudy with a high of 28 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny at 29. Thank you very much for watching Bonġu News and have a lovely weekend.